You wanted to steal it? Now you gonna smoke it all. Keep smoking. Smoke it! What up, what up, what up? We are back. Who am I? Jersey Street Corner, and this is the Prison Talk Show, people. So let's get into it. Now, I don't know how many of y'all been following and listening to the videos, but from this point on, people, the videos are going to get more and more diabolical. And what do I mean by that? I've been holding back. I've been holding back, people, because I'm waiting because I need some subscribers. I need y'all to hear what I'm saying. I need more people to hear what I'm saying, because what I'm trying to do is keep the youth out of prison. And if you are headed to prison, well, I'm just going to drop a few gems for you. Now, as I've mentioned in previous videos, me, my cousin, and a couple of our peoples, we was known to get them things in, them substances in A Block. Yeah, A Block was popping. You had to go through A Block if you wanted any substance in the prison, because we had it on lock. We made sure that the CO Brown that was dealing with us, and by the way, because some of y'all think I'm like these YNs out here dry snitching and all that extra business. No, y'all, you will never get a real name on this channel. You're never going to get it, so stop asking. You're not going to get real COs names, real inmates names, none of that. Because a lot of these people are still in the prison system, y'all. And I'm not trying to do that. So, CO Brown is what we call him. He was our connect. CO Brown let us move around the prison like we was gods, as long as we paid him. Yeah, y'all. As long as you got that bread, oh, you can make things jump. You can make your bid fly by. So, me and my cousin Dee Dee, we came up with a crazy idea. We was like, yo, we was pushing all that shit out there in the street. We probably could make more here in prison. So, that's what we started doing. We started making phone calls and lining things up. And before you knew it, we had a steady supply coming into prison through CO Brown. Now, you had your trees and, the white girl and old boy put you to sleep. And we could get in alcohol and stuff like that. We used to have gin and juice and Hennessy, all of that. Parties galore. Now, you can get pills, whatever you want, as long as you got the bread. But one thing that was a rare commodity in the prison was meth. Meth was very hard to get in. Why? Because it was very hard to handle. If it got too hot, it'll melt to liquid. So it's not like you could just stuff it under your arm or, walk it in somehow undetected. You gotta have it delicately. Don't be making fun of me, y'all. I could pronounce my words. I just been messing with Anyway, you have to handle it the right way. So it was gonna be hard for CO Brown to sneak the amount that we need in there. Yeah, you could bring a couple of grams in there or something, but we need a pound. We need to break it down. We need to get paid up in here. We got a lot of pods to distribute to. Now, who better to go to than the white boys? Yeah, we push the shit out there in the streets. We know all about pushing it, but we don't know a damn thing about making it. So, we decide we're going to have a sit down with the ABs. Now, I know what y'all thinking. What? Y'all sat down to talk to them? And if y'all don't know who the ABs are, I'm just going to say that last part stands for brotherhood. I'm not going to tell y'all what the A stands for. I'm trying to stay on my P's and Q's with this YouTube thing, because I really don't need YouTube coming at me the wrong way. Now, we sit down and talk to Booker and JT. They run the brotherhood. And they have knowledge that we need. A lot of the people on their side dealt with that meth. A lot of them was locked up for it, for, doing it, selling it. But the main thing is, these guys know how to cook it. That's for sure. So we just got to come to a lucrative deal that works out for us, the ABs, and CO Brown. Now, off the rip, I'm going to tell you right away, CO Brown is getting 50% off the rip. He's not taking no less. And it's rightfully so. He putting his job on the line to make things pop for us. Now, the ABs, I think the only fair thing would be for us to split that 25-25. We gonna move it, they gonna make it. I bet. Now, all we gotta do is get the ingredients. And guess what, y'all? All you need is a little Sudafed and a little... Oh yeah, I thought I was about to tell y'all how to make meth. Not on YouTube. I don't think so. Stick with the story, y'all. Y'all gonna get enough from that. Now, Booker and JT immediately agreed. They had been waiting for something like this to pop off for years. It's just that we never really had the right connection. We never got down together, obviously. We stood for two different things. And honestly, we just didn't like each other, period. We still don't. But for the right amount of bread, we can work together. Now, they go ahead and tell us they got their dude, Jasper. He's a middle-aged guy, but Jasper, he was a pro at cooking out there in them streets. And all they said was he could cook it, no problem. But where you gonna cook it at? You can't do it in the cell. You can't do it in the day room. You can't do it in the bathroom. You need a lab. You need a whole setup. Beakers and burners and all types of stuff. Plus, you need the ingredients. And me and Dee Dee just looked at each other and said, say no more. Just slide us a list. Write down a list of everything you need. And we're going to figure out the cost of all of the utensils that we need and all the ingredients. We're going to split that cost. Being that we're going to go 25-25, we're going to split that cost. And then we're going to split the profits right down the middle. So they're like, all right, bet. All right, we'll get the list to you. Say no more. You have it by tonight. Now, while they're on their own getting that list together, me and Dee Dee, now we got to go have a talk with C.O. Brown. Because C.O. Brown, he got something special for us. He has access to a spot in the prison in the basement that don't nobody go to. Not the warden, no other COs, the cleaning guy. It's like they don't even know that it's down there. But it's a whole section of the basement that don't nobody use. And it has electricity. It's a whole floor just not being used, y'all. So the plan is he's going to get us in there for the times that we need in between counts. So after we count, we going to pretty much just disappear for hours on end. As long as we don't miscount, nobody going to know any wiser. So he took us down there to show us around. And me and Dee Dee see the place. We brought Josh with us. And it's like, yo, we could have been down here smashing COs. We could have been down here doing crazy stuff, having parties, all types of stuff, man. Why you ain't never tell us about this spot? And C.O. Brown laughing. He like, because y'all ain't never offered me the right bread. I mean, what we talking about now, we talking about tens of thousands of dollars, in a matter of weeks. You're like, I'm with that. It's worth it for that. I ain't going to risk my job just for y'all to party. He like, so I'm going to let y'all both know right now, all three of y'all. This better go right. And if it don't go right, Y'all better not ever mention my name. I ain't had nothing to do with it, and y'all ain't getting nothing from me. Also, if y'all get caught down here for any reason, y'all better take that on the chin. Do not say, I'll let you in here. They ask you how you got in here, make up some bullshit. And we like, alright, no doubt, no, ain't no snitches over here. We know the code. You already know what it is. You know the vibes. Like, alright, come on, let's get y'all back up before anybody notice. And CO Brown, look out, boom. And there's no cameras down there because it's not being used, so they had no reason to have cameras down there. Get us right back onto the floor that we need to be, right to the laundry room, boom, through the back door, we back in our pod. Real easy. Now we go to scoop that list up. Go to scoop that list up from Booker and JT. It's about 10 items on there. They're like, yeah, get this, just in case they don't have it, get that, get this. You might as well get that, and get enough, man. You're gonna need a lot. Get a lot of this right here. This right here is the main ingredient. You need a lot of this. And you might have to go to different stores to get all of it, because they're not gonna sell you as much as you need for one store. They're gonna look at you crazy. So you gotta go to different stores and get it now. Don't forget. Don't get in trouble. And we like, well, we ain't going to get it. We ain't going to get in trouble. They're like, who you sending? And we're like, well, y'all don't worry about that, because we're not letting them know. The less people that know about CO Brown's interaction, the better. We're not letting the ABs know that we got a CO that's putting this all together for us. We're like, don't worry about it. The less you know, the better. Just know the stuff is coming. So they're like, all right. And he's like, listen, all of that, it should come out to about maybe $800 for all of them ingredients. I'll get 4 cash apped over to you ASAP. And we're like, all right, as soon as you do that, we'll cash app the whole 8 out, and we'll be on the way. So that's what they did, and that's what we did. Told CO Brown, here go the list. Take your time, and don't miss anything. We need everything on that list to make this pop correctly. You're like, all right, I got you. You're like, but listen, it's going to take me time to get all of this stuff into the prison. So let's set production for about a week from now. And every shift from now till then, I'll bring some of it in with me on every shift. We're like, all right, bet. That'll give us time to set up. So start with the utensils that we need for the lab first, and then start working on the ingredients. How about that? You're like, all right, that'll be easy. Yeah. We do that. So slowly but surely, we got a lab set up in that basement, y'all. And we got Bunsen burners, beakers, syringes, all types of nonsense down there, y'all. If anyone was to come down there and find all that stuff, we'd be hit. I mean, we'd just have to say, hey, listen, man, this stuff was here when we got here. We don't know how it got here. We don't know how we got here. And I don't know, I'll probably just plead insanity or something at that point. Like, listen, I don't know how I got here. I don't know where this stuff came from or who made it. Now, let's fast forward to the lab. Now, the way we was running it, only 2 people allowed in the lab at one time. That way, we don't have to worry about accidents. Too many people means people bumping into stuff, doing stupid stuff, playing around. We ain't want no nonsense going down. We had fire extinguishers down there, the whole 9. Now, normally, being that Jasper was the only one that actually knew what he was doing in the lab, we let Jasper stay down there by himself. And it was better that way. That way we could watch all of the exits from the pod to make sure that no other COs besides CO Brown was headed down that way, which nobody ever went to that hallway anyway, to head down to the basement. So we would let Jasper rock, and his job was to pretty much cook it up. And after the batch was done, we'd come down there and weigh it up. CO Brown got us the big scale, not the little pocket joint. We had the big joint. And Boom. We dropped them crystals right on there. Now, something would look funny. We're looking at the scale and we're looking at the numbers and we tried it a couple of times. After, 2 or 3 batches, you know what it's supposed to come out to. So, long story short, after reweighing and reweighing that shit a few times, we noticed it was about an ounce short. And we're like, oh, hell nah, hell nah. What they trying to pull? Now, immediately, something that small could start a war between us and the ABs. We're supposed to be on the same agenda as far as this business goes. So if we start to feel that you trying to get over on us, then we're going to have a problem. Because the only other person down there was your man's Jasper. So me and Didi, we go talk to Booker and JT. And we tell them, like, listen, this batch is a little short. It's about a whole zip short. And we don't know why. Now, we put the same amount of ingredients. We haven't heard of anything happening, spills or anything like that. So we're going to need y'all to go and find out what's up with your mans. Because otherwise, something got to give. We can't just be losing money like that. That zip, you already know this shit go for $150 a G on the street. You know we pushing it for $220 in here. Easy. So you talking about somebody owe somebody a lot of bread. Now we gotta pay Officer Brown and ourselves. So what's up? They're like, all right, man, all right, chill, calm down. We gonna go talk to Jasper and get to the bottom of this. We ain't going for that shit either. Nah, we ain't going for it. That's what Booker's saying. So JT right behind them. And they moving out fast, y'all. They pissed off. Because they already know. We didn't know, but they already know. Not only do Jasper like to cook it, he like to smoke it, y'all. That dragon tail. Jasper like making little foil pipes and going to town on that meth. So they go and find Jasper in his cell. And Jasper's eyes are popping out of his sockets, y'all. I mean, his joints is beaming. Ding! He turned around like, what's up? And they're like, you son of a bitch. And they grab him by his collar. Where's the shit, Jasper? Where's the shit? You gonna start a war over this shit? And JT just starts smacking him. Bow, bow, bow. Where is it? And he's like, it's over there, man. It's over there. I made it, damn it. You giving them inners all of it? Fuck them. And then that's when Booker came from the side with a cross. Boom! And they ain't have a problem with what he just called us. They had a problem with him putting himself over the business. So they found it. They found it all. It was about an ounce. And he had it wrapped up. So they took it. Booker put it in his pocket. And he said, he came out the cell to tell us, we was watching through the door. He came out to talk to us and said, listen, you guys are absolutely right. I apologize. And as a gesture of my good faith, I'm going to pay for this whole ounce. I'm going to pay you for the whole ounce. But I'm only going to pay street costs. I'm not paying jail price. And we was like, all right, cool. Why would you do that? He was like, the principle of it. What I'm going to do with this ounce, Jasper will never forget in his life. And we was like, all right, well, listen, just give us our part and C.O. Brown's part. Keep your part, bro. Keep your part. Do what you do. Let's keep this moving. Let's keep this business moving to show our gesture of good faith. And they're like, all right, bet. Say no more. You guys are all right. And we're like, yeah, all right. We heard what your boy just said, too. We heard what your boy just said. But we letting that slide for right now. And he looked back at him and he said, oh, don't worry about him. You don't have to worry about him. You probably won't see him no more after tonight. And we're like, oh, say no more. We ain't hear nothing. Then he turned back around, went in that cell with Jasper, closed the door, and we didn't leave, y'all. We stayed right there at the door watching. He got a big old piece of foil, made a huge pipe. He put all of that meth, or at least a good portion of it, in that pipe. Had JT hold Jasper down while they held that pipe to his mouth. And they started lighting that meth, y'all. Now, I've never done it and I never will. Don't do drugs, people. But I know people that have. And somebody told me smoking that dragon tail is one of the harshest things you could ever do in your life. Like your lungs just be on fire. Your nose, your nostril be on fire. They got him with that thing in his mouth, lighting it up. Every time it go out, light it up again. Holding his nose so he have to inhale. And when I say this guy was so intoxicated from that meth, he was numb, I guess. He couldn't walk, he couldn't move. He was on the ground like a zombie, twitching with his eyeballs. They honestly looked like they was just about to pop out of his head. And JT and Booker opened the cell, walked right on out of there. No blood, no knuckle bruising, nothing. They left the rest of the meth right there on the floor next to him. When the COs came for count, they saw him, called the lockdown, and it was a wash. 1, 2, 3. With that bag sitting there, they don't know how he got that much in there, but they knew he overdosed. And that was it for Jasper. His heart stopped right there on that cell floor. Listen, y'all, that's going to be it for this story. I hope you liked it. Like, share, subscribe. Get at your boy in them comments. And y'all already know the vibes. I'm out.